Premier League awards of the week, where we give out our winners of the week, losers of the week, that kind of stuff. So, Spain, who is your winner of the week?
I'm going to give this one to West Ham. They had a huge win. They beat Wolves 4-0. It took them out of the relegation zone, and Tottenham fell down into the relegation zone, and after losing are stuck there for the moment. But West Ham's performance I thought was really good, getting out of the relegation zone. Had me put them as one of the winners of the week.
Sure.
And I don't have the heart to say the other winner of the week that we have down in the list right now.
Fair
So
enough.
I'll let you take
Before
that one.
before I get to that one, I do want to give a shout out to West Ham. They have looked really good over the last month or so, I guess. Maybe even longer than that. I think Nuno's really gotten a tune out of these guys, and they've got some guys that are really playing well. So
Yeah,
definitely deserved winners of the week.
Jared Bowen to no surprises balling like in really good form. Castellanos, as I think mentioned in the previous pod, is looking really good. The whole team's clicking. Mavropanos, who I've mentioned in the past, has had a great game, stepped up with two huge goals for them. So yeah, West Ham's in really good form and trending in the right direction at the end of the season to beat relegation and stay in the league.
Yep. And then another team trending in the right directions, it seems, is Manchester City. That's the other winner of the week. They are winners of the week because of the way that they destroyed Chelsea, but also because Arsenal dropped points again this past week against Bournemouth on Saturday, excuse me. Huge loss by Arsenal, and now it's looking a little bit sketchy for the end of the season. We can dive into it a little bit more about the details behind the points and what can happen here, but that's my winner of the week is City, and I will let you take loser of the week.
Yeah, my loser of the week is North London because both Arsenal and Tottenham had losses. Arsenal's loss was bad because depending on how the game goes against City, we could lose control of the title race if we lose to City. So terrible result for us. And then Tottenham losing, the other North London club lost and is down into the relegation zone. So North London had a bad weekend for soccer.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a rough weekend for North London between both Arsenal and Spurs. And you just explained why. I don't need to go into more detail there. Match of the week. What did you have for this one?
It might be. I don't think it's recency bias, but the United Leeds game was awesome to watch from a neutral perspective. It was the first half was exciting, but the second half was super wide open. Both teams were going at it. So it was a really entertaining game to watch.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think I wish it was a little bit more entertaining from a United standpoint, as in, we got maybe a late goal to get a draw or maybe even a winner. But I will agree. I do think it was pretty action packed, relatively end to end as well. So I can agree with that pick. And then the other one for me was Brentford versus Everton. I was watching this game pretty closely because I had some players involved from an FPL perspective, and this was a really fun one as well. Brentford went up first, and then Everton answered with a goal of their own through Beto, who seems to be in really good form, and I love just seeing him do a celebration every time he scores. And then late in the game, Thiago gets a second pen, and also is now the has the most goals in Premier League history for a Brazilian player, I believe, at 21.
Wow.
So great achievement by him. And then Dewsbury Hall late in the game in the 91st minute scores the equalizer to put Everton back at level 2-2 in that match. It was very back and forth, some moments of quality from both teams. I never really knew who was going to walk away with this one, so I thought that was an entertaining match for me.
Yeah, really good ending to that one.
Yeah. All right. And then moving on from match of the week, let's talk goal of the week. Who do you got for me here?
I'm giving this one to Rio Ingamoa. He had a really nice goal where he got the ball on the left side of the 18, did a little shimmy, did a little shot fake, pushed it another step, and then curled it in far post around the players and around Leno. So just a really well taken goal from, I think he's only 17. So great goal from the 17-year-old, very Sterling-esque when he was in his early days at Liverpool.
So you were talking about Rio Ungamoa as the goal of the week, and I agree. What a moment for him. I'm not sure if he's 16 or 17 yet, or
I think he turned 17. He was 16 at the start of the season. I think I heard he's 17.
But either way, what a goal. And I think he's someone that has really impressed me this season. Like, he hasn't really had a chance to show too much, but I feel like when he has been given his chances, he's shown like how dangerous he can be. Maybe it's because I don't watch Liverpool that closely, but I think from the moments that I have seen him, I thought he's been really good and someone that probably deserves and needs to play more for them. And he's going to be a really fun player to
Mm-hmm.
watch for years to come. Moving on after that, we have player slash performance of the week. For me, I put this one in the notes. I've got Ryan Cherky versus Chelsea. I thought he was really, really good. He's been growing in confidence. Pep seems to be trusting him more. They're figuring out how to get the best out of him. I saw Pep's comments after the game, like, just get the guy, just stay close to the box, stay close to the other team's goal where you can really affect the game with your assists and your goals. And that's what he did. I thought the one that really impressed me the most was for Guehi's goal. He took the corner, came, collected the ball, dribbled it across the field, like towards like the right from left hand side to the right hand side, avoided like took contact, but then still was able to pick up the pass to Gehi in the box, who finished really well. Took a good first touch and finish for a center back for sure.
Yeah.
But at that point, it just kind of epitomized. Like I feel like Shirky was in flow state with some of the stuff that he was doing out there. He wasn't really thinking; he was just really balling, and no one could really lay a hand on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't actually watch that game, but from what I saw, the highlights I saw, he was definitely balling, and he had what 2 assists, and that's definitely what he can
Yeah,
bring to a team. So look, he's really finding his groove right now, and one of the first teams or one of the first names in the team sheet for Pep, and he's trusting him, and he's doing his thing.
yeah. He had 2 assists in the match, but even prior to that, like prior to that second assist, you could just see that like everything was running through him. He was getting the ball and always looking for an opportunity to hurt the opposition. And even if he wasn't quite creating that assist or something like that, it just felt like no matter what he was doing, everything was coming off.
Mm-hmm.
So
And this is like the scary part with Trick because we talked about him potentially getting to be really, really good, especially in a Pep system where he's got the
mhm.
freedom to be on the ball in and around the box, and that's exactly what he's doing. So I
Yeah.
can't say it's surprising, but it is very scary.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing about him, or I think as well is like I think it almost is specific, not specific to City. I think he's so good that he would like show his quality anywhere. But I said it when they first signed him that I think that's partially why his transfer fee was low. I mean, Leon just had to get players off their books as well, so I think that had something to do with it. But I think it's at that price you would think other top clubs might have taken a chance on him, but I feel like the way City plays really does cater to him to where they're very possession heavy and like kind of need someone that can be a low block killer versus like I don't think he could obviously produce the same football that he does at like an Everton or something like that where he's got to be a little bit more transitional, a little bit more athletic. I think
Mm-hmm.
Pep and City is like the perfect environment for him, and it kind of sucks that they managed to get him and there wasn't a lot of competition. I think because of those reasons.
Yeah, especially in the Premier League where it is a lot more transitional and like athletics based. Whereas in another league, like the French league, he was doing really well because like talent isn't as good, but like you said, it's a little slower. And with City, he doesn't have to do as much defensive work because they keep the ball up so high and like aren't tracking back and doing like a lot of sprints. So, yeah, I think those are great points, and like, yeah, it
Yep.
just fits his game so well.
Exactly. Exactly. And then
I'll be
moving on
interested.
from go ahead.
Last thing, I'll be interested to watch him in the World Cup. I'm assuming he's going to make the squad. I haven't
Yeah.
looked at the squad recently, but he should. So I'm excited to watch him at the World Cup.
Me too. I think he'll definitely make the squad. I'm interested to see if he becomes a starter or forces his way into the starting lineup with all the
Hmm.
star-studded like attackers that they do have. Because I mean we've talked about it before, but they've got Ekatike, Mbappe, Dembele, Doué. Who else? I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, but all those players competing for those front 3 to 4 positions. So it's going to be
Hmm.
really interesting to see how France ends up using him. But I think there's no doubt he'll be with the squad. It's just I'm not really sure what role he'll play.
Hmm.
And then moving on to the unsung hero of the week. What do you got from here?
Actually, I've got a player performance of the week
Oh,
that I came
nice.
up with. So my player of the week is Alex Scott for
Okay.
Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Watching him, he was really good for Bournemouth throughout the game. Like I never really hear his name. No one ever talks about him. He just seems like a kind of a generic midfielder, but plays
Hmm.
tons of minutes for Bournemouth. Got an engine on him.
Yeah.
And his goal was really well taken for the second goal
Yeah.
for Bournemouth. Found the space really well, made a great run, and was just composed.
Yeah.
So for like the little bit I have been seeing of Bournemouth, I just like his game a lot, just because he doesn't do anything too fancy. Just plays like a really good number 8. Gets up and down
Yep.
the pitch, box to box, gets on the ball, wins the ball, keeps the ball for them, drives forward, gets his goals here and there. So I thought he had a great game for Bournemouth against
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, I think that's a great shout. Actually, I was watching him pretty closely after the United played Bournemouth last game week, but 24 days ago at this point now. But
Mm-hmm.
I was watching him, and I agree. I think he's a really tidy player, really good at keeping the ball. Like you said, he just kind of does everything you want from a midfielder, like great all rounder profile, essentially. Um, and the other thing about him that you mentioned is like he doesn't get a whole lot of shine or doesn't get a whole lot of attention. I think he had a little bit of hype to him or when he first started breaking into the Bournemouth team. I remember
Mm-hmm.
there was a couple guys that I follow on Twitter that were big into scouting, and they basically were saying like, "Watch out for Alex Scott, and United should look at him and that kind of stuff." But I feel like he's kind of really starting to make his name, and a lot of people are saying United should go try and get him this summer as maybe like a backup midfielder or something. But I think for his career, he's got a great thing going at Bournemouth. If I'm him,
Mm-hmm.
I'm staying at Bournemouth another year or two, develop, and then go get myself a big move to another bigger club after like really, really establishing himself. Because I think he's just now making himself a mainstay for them.
1000%. He seems really fit, so he'll play 90s every single week for Bournemouth. So might as well have another season, like you said, getting all those minutes for a good team. Um, yeah, I would not leave if I was him. I think he can really elevate his game with another season at Bournemouth.
Okay. All right. So that's a great shout for a player slash performance of the week with Alex Scott. And then unsung hero of the week. What do you got from here?
Might not be an unsung hero, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Igor Thiago for getting another brace and up to 21 goals this season. I think everyone's been like following him because he's been banging in a lot of goals this season. But to be second in the Golden Boot race right behind, or only one goal behind Erling Haaland, is really, really impressive. Just want to give a shout out to Igor Thiago for having such a great season and being on 21 goals. And it'd be really cool to see him win the Golden Boot over Haaland this season.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. I'm all in on the Igor Thiago train. Like, I mean, I've got him in my FPL team, and the guy keeps producing. I remember at the beginning of the season, I was like, surely this guy can't keep scoring at this rate. And I
Mm-hmm.
kept him out of my team for way too long. I remember the Ekatike versus Thiago swing, and I was definitely on the losing end of that. And I was like, I'm not doing that again. Like, I watched the guy, and he's just an XG magnet as far as just
Yeah.
being in and around the box, always being on the end of chances. He's on pens. Like the guy just bags goals at the end of the
He's
day, and
he's a
it's a great bit of
great
recruitment by them.
He's a great finisher too.
Hmm.
Thankfully, that's one of the few things that has gone really well for me this season. FPL, I've brought him in and just held him basically the entire time since.
Yeah, yeah, that right foot, left foot header, whatever. He
Mm-hmm.
can score with however he wants.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. That should cover our Premier League awards. Hopefully, I'm not still frozen, and I'm definitely looking like I'm glitching a little bit here on my end. But
Yeah, I'm not seeing you in my room.
okay, that's probably about to kick me out in a couple of seconds. It says it's still recording for me though.
Yeah, let's keep rolling with it. And
All right. Um. Well, up next we have our Arsenal United deep dive. So we want to talk about United versus Leeds, and then Arsenal versus Bournemouth. Let's start with Arsenal versus Bournemouth.
all right, so Arsenal lost 2-1 to Bournemouth in the early kickoff on Saturday. In terms of the team selection, there was no Saka or Timber again. So Miles Lewis Skelly also started at left back. So we had Madueke start on the right wing for Saka. We had Ben White start at right back for Timber. Martinelli started at left wing. We had Gyökeres up top. Havertz in the 10 because no Odegaard today or Saturday. So the line was okay, but definitely love it. Have not been liking what I've seen with Havertz lately in the 10. Doesn't look like he's up to speed really. He just looks off of it. So not having Eze or Odegaard in the 10 really hurts us, and obviously no Saka really sucks. And same with Timber because he was been one of our best players throughout the first half of the season. Match summary with though started out with the goal in the 16th minute for Bournemouth. Came from I think it's like bad clearances or whatnot. I can't remember. Oh no, they played a really good ball. What happened was Madueke wasn't tracking back. Ben White got caught defending one of their players and didn't track the left back like True Fair who was running in behind. They played a really good ball in behind and crossed it, deflected off of Saliba's foot to Krupi at the back post. who was able to tap it in. Yeah, it just came down to Ben White and Nani Madueke not communicating and Madueke not tracking the runner.
Yeah.
So that was a bad mistake on our part defensively. In the 33rd minute, though, we were gifted a penalty off of a handball. I think it was a handball, but it was just kind of lucky because Gabriel just, after a corner, just kind of toe poked at the ball. I can't remember which midfielder it was.
I think it was Ryan Christie, I think.
Christie, yeah. He had his hand out, so it was a handball, but I think we were very fortunate to get that because like we weren't looking like we were going to score from the opportunity. But Gyökeres took the penalty very well, slotted it, hit it with a lot of power to the left, goalkeeper's right. Petrovic dove the right way but couldn't get his hand to it. So really well taken pen from Gyökeres, but couldn't really do anything with the goal. Nothing. We weren't creating any chances. And then the 74th minute, we turn the ball over, and Zubamendi doesn't run with Alex Scott, who makes like the third man run, gets played in, and slots it easily, run into the box, basically untouched. And that was about it. We had a couple late chances, but nothing really going for us. Yeah, that was the team selection match summary. And then just in terms of performances, I thought it was one of our worst performances of the year. We couldn't pass the ball out. We couldn't progress the ball. We couldn't dribble past anyone. We were turning the ball over left and right. We were making defensive mistakes, as I talked about. They led to the first goal. So, yeah, we just looked really, really poor. Looks like we lost all of our confidence, and looks like we were just playing scared out there. We had no answers throughout the game for Bournemouth pressing. We had no way to build up, no way to create chances, and just passing out of the back. No one was really showing for the ball, and that led to tons of turnovers. And that's basically it. I got some player performances, but I'll let you speak on your thoughts from the game.